Welcome to the video session of 5th unit. This is the third section from this unit. In the previous sessions we have seen the AngularJS introduction, MVC architecture and directives, expressions, controllers that are made for AngularJS. In this session we are going to continue the AngularJS part and the tools that are included with AngularJS. Few of them we are going to see today, like filters, tables, modules, forms, etc. Okay, so we'll start with the filters first. So now what are the AngularJS filters? Filters are actually used to change, modify the data, and they can be clubbed into expression or directive using a pipe character. Okay. So AngularJS filters are actually used for transforming or formatting the data in AngularJS, and they are clubbed into expression or directives using pipe character. We have seen the expression and directives in previous video session. Okay. So it is actually a tool which we can use to format the data, and using this filter a user can see and modify according to the requirement. Then it is added to Angular to format the data that is being displayed on the view part. We have seen the MVC architecture. In that, the view part will display the data taken from model part, and it is being controlled by the controller. So for display purpose, the part used is view part. Okay, so these filters are used to format the data that is being displayed on the view part. Okay, so whatever data is visible to the user, that can be modified for better view by using filters. Okay, and we are using this filter with the help of pipe character. And there are some commonly used filters like uppercase, lowercase, currency filter and order by. How actually they work, we can see the uppercase filter will convert the text to uppercase, lowercase will convert text to lowercase, currency will format the text in currency format, whichever text you have entered. As for example, there is a number and you have written it in text, that will be converted into currency with the help of this currency filter. Then the filter the array, a subset of it based on provided criteria. Okay, so what the filter will do, it will filter the array to a subset of it based on provided criteria. Means if there is an array and if you want to provide a particular condition, so that only minimum or required array elements should be viewed, so at that time the filter can be used. Then order by is used to order the array based on provided criteria. It is elaborated how these filters are used. Uppercase filter, add the uppercase filter to an expression using a pipe character, and how the pipe character is used in coding block, that we will see. For example, enter first name, there you will provide input type as text and ng model equals to first name. Okay, that variable we have used first name. Then name in uppercase. How to use the name in uppercase, we will give the expressions are used in double curly braces. So we have started the expression first name. We have used a pipe character and written uppercase, that is a filter name, and close that expression. So this will convert whatever text you are entering as first name into the uppercase. Then similarly the other filters are also working. You have to use the same syntax, just you have to enter that pipe character and the filter name. So we'll move to the next part, that is tables. So tables we have already seen many times in a relational database as well, in JavaScript as well, HTML as well, how to include them into your program or into your web page. Okay, so tables are same, but they just differ with the display format. Table are mainly used to view or show your data in a particular tabular format, so it can be viewed in correct order as well as at the one glance. And basically the tables are used for orderly arrangement of any quantitative data in columns and rows. Okay, so table data is normally repeatable by nature. Ng repeat directive can be used to draw table easily. Okay, in AngularJS the directive for using table or to display table we use is ng repeat. Here ng stands for Angular. The directives also we have seen in the last session. The ng repeat directive repeats a set of HTML a given number of times. The set of HTML will be repeated once per item in a collection. We will see this with an example, but just before that we'll go through these things. The set of HTML will be repeated once per item in a collection. Okay, then the collection must be an array or an object. Okay, so three things to be remembered. Ng repeat directive repeats a set of HTML a given number of times. Whatever number of times we will call them, you can use that ng repeat directive. Okay, then the set of HTML will be repeated once per item in a collection, and the collection must be an array or an object. So we'll see these three things, how they are implemented in code. Okay, so we have started the table with table tab, then tr tag for table row, and in a column we have provided the two variables like name and city. The table row closed, this is your first line or first row we can say. Then from that you are going to enter the data for name and city. So how it will be used repeatedly, that is the main point. Okay, so which directive we have to use here, that is ng repeat, so that it can use that particular data which you are entering at many times. Okay, so tr ng repeat equals to entry in collection, and table data as expression we have provided entry dot name and entry dot ct. So entry dot name and entry dot ct will repeat that particular name and ct values many times, or it will hold the data, whichever data you are entering for name and city. Okay, so the actual table example we can see as we have started the HTML script. With HTML tag we have used ng app, and ng app is given as simple app name. Then head and script source we have provided here. Again, after closing that script, we have started script source and index page written in JavaScript. We are coding here. Okay, so both script tags are included in your head section. Then the body section, in that we have used directives. Okay, so ng controller is used here. The ng controller is named with simple controller, and now we want to enter the table. So table data we have already provided, like which things we want to enter, the name and city. Okay, so table border is given as 1, and table row. Okay, so table row is holding number, name and city, and 3 columns. Okay, so next row, this is the first row that will be holding values as number, name and city. So there will be 3 columns made for that particular row. Then now we want to enter these things in tabular format, right? So from next row we will be holding the number in the number column, name into the name column and city into the city column. So what we will do, tr ng repeat equals to, we have used that ng repeat directive here in the table row. Ng repeat equals to entry in collection, and how this entry is done, with the expression, okay, in the table as $index plus 1. So $index is your variable, $index plus 1, that will be for your number column. Entry dot name, entry dot ct, and the table row and table form, table script are closed. So table tag are closed. Then this information, if you want to add into the form, so we will use the tag form as form ng submit equals to add entry. Then name, we are taking here input name, input type is text, ng model has given the name as new data dot name. For city as well, the same, city input type equals to text and ng model equals to new data dot ct. Alright, then for submit we will use input type equals to submit and value is add entry. This is the little code for form, and close the form tag as well as directives tag, body and HTML. So here it is end of Angular form table dot HTML. Alright, and now we have to see the index.js file that we have used here in the script src equals to index.js. Okay, in the head section we have included that file. So now that file must be present somewhere. Okay, so we'll make that file as index.js. Here we have created var app. Okay, so var app is given for creating an app module, right? We have seen the example for creating variable in the last session. So var app equals to angular dot module and simple app with the empty break. Then app dot controller, we will call the controller, that is simple controller, comma function scope, $scope. So as told before, controller will always follow the scope parameter, and the controller is created here, like scope collection equals to what data should be entered already, like a name is Amit, city is Nashik, second entry as name Neha and city Nashik. Okay, so these two entries we have made, and we need to add these entries to our collection. So what we will do, $scope dot add entry equals to function. Now, so the function is open now. $scope dot collection dot push of with is having parameters as $scope dot new data. Okay, for entering the new data, see here we have used two entries, right? Name, Amit and Neha. Okay, so these two entries we have made with the expression. Okay, sorry, in the second line of entry, like name Neha and city Nashik, there is one in this bracket, actually it is a curly bracket only. Okay, so please make that correction. And here now we want to add data. So whole data we are not writing it into the program only, we want to enter it at the runtime. So for that, what we will do, we'll use $scope dot collection dot push scope dot new data. Okay, and $scope dot new data will be holding as double quotes. Okay, so that the value will be placed there, and close the particular file with the particular semicolon and brackets. So we can see how will be our output. So previous entries will be shown in the table. The table is having three entries, three columns, number, name and city. Okay, and two entries we have already provided that are also displayed. Then the third part, as told now I just before, that is new data entry form. Okay, so there also we want to enter name and city. So text boxes we have provided there, and there we also use that code for submit button that is having the value add entry. Okay, now if you want to add the entry at runtime, what we will do, we will directly enter the data in the correct place. Okay, so name, at the place of name we are entering name, and city, okay, at the place of city. After clicking on add entry, that entry will be added to the table. So we can see the table is updated with the third entry 3 Jia Pune. Okay, so we can see we have used the number column as $index plus 1, so it will be automatically increased with the number of entries. Okay, we haven't given any input for number table. Okay, means by user, we are the number table is automatically getting updated with the number of entries. This is all about tables in AngularJS. So next part is the modules. So how the modules are actually working in AngularJS, that we will see. Actually all these tools that we are seeing today are for display purpose. Okay, and that are working on view part, the filters, then the tables, modules as well. Okay, so what are actually modules we will see. AngularJS modules are used to separate logics, say services, controllers, applications, etc., and keep the code clean. So basic use of AngularJS is to separate logic. So how this logic is separated, that we'll see. But the AngularJS module actually defines the functionality of application which is applied to the entire HTML page. What it does, it defines the functionality of application which is applied to the entire HTML page, and it helps to link many components, so it is just a group of related components. Then module can be a container which consists of different parts like controllers, services, directives. Okay, So all these things are contained in a block or in a thing with a thing that is nothing but modules. Okay? A module is used as main method and controller always belongs to a module. The Angular module method is used to create a module and it is also called AngularJS function or Angular.module. So in example we are going to create two modules. One application module that is used to initialize the application with controller or controllers, and second controller module that is used to define the controller. So there are two things. Controller will having its own work of controlling whole things, plus it is always connected to the module part as well. Okay, so we'll see the application module first. So application module, how it is defined: the variable main app where main app equals to angular dot module main app and emptiness. Then here we have declared an application main app. Okay, we have declared an application with the name main app module using Angular. This is the declaration part. Module function. Okay, so how we have used it with the Angular dot module function. So Angular dot module function is used to create a module. Okay, and it is called as AngularJS function. We have passed an empty array to it. We can see that, and this array generally contains dependent modules. Then second part is controller module. The controller module, how it is created with main app dot controller. In that we are adding another controller like student controller and function $scope. So we have created a controller module here. The first was application module that we have declared with the Angular module function, and another is actually a controller. So how this controller is created? With the application main app module. Okay, main app dot controller, and we have given the controller name plus, as told, the controller will always be there with a scope parameter. So the scope parameter is there. Here we have declared a controller student controller module using main app dot controller function. Then using the modules will include directives ng-app and your application name, that is main app, ng-controller, your controller name is student controller. So this will be your application module using ng-app directive and controller using ng-controller directive. So this is about the declaration part of your modules. So basic things about modules are given in the syntax. So this is all written in red lines are actually the code that should be written in your program so that you can use that module. So modules are actually for functionality. Okay, so that thing should be taken into consideration. And the questions asked in university exam can be explain the filters, tables and modules. Okay, that can be asked for 2 marks each, or there may be a question like explain AngularJS table. Okay, so at that time you have to take that example of table plus how that data is entered. Okay, so that example already I have given and explained with all the line of code. Then the models will be having little things like how it is being used and how it is being displayed, like application module and controller module. There will be two parts, and how they are actually used in coding block that you have to given as shown in this page. Okay, so this is about modules. Next thing about AngularJS is using the forms. So AngularJS enriches form filling and validation. AngularJS facilitates you to create a form, enriches with the data binding and validation of input controls. The input controls are ways for a user to enter data. Okay? A form is a collection of controls for the purpose of grouping related controls together. So in form, what we will do, actually many data whatever you are entering, taking as entry from user, that is saved at one place in a form. Okay, so form is actually giving access to user for the collection of controls for the purpose of grouping related controls together. That means if you have entered data for 10 students, that means you are controlling the 10 students with particular collection of student data, right? So forms are very important in any text or any application. Okay? So form and control provide validation services so that the user can be noticed of invalid input before submitting form. This provides actually a better user experience than server-side validation, because user gets instant feedback on how to correct the error. It will not tell you after loading the whole page or after entering the data on whole page. If you are make some error entry at the first line only, for example at the first line you have entered the email ID and you have forgotten something. Okay, so it will update you with the error instantly. Okay, it will not take the whole information from you, like email ID, name, address, then phone number, or any qualification details, and after that, after submitting, it will show you error. So this will be a very ridiculous way, because it will take the time and the data as well. Okay, so that is a bad way if the error is being displayed at the end or after very much time spending. Okay, so always it is a good chance to have the error code display on the instant click. Okay, so AngularJS forms also provide you the same way. Then the we can use ng-click to handle AngularJS click on button, and use $dirty and $invalid flags to do the validations in seamless way. So how the forms are used, actually there are some input controls like input elements, select elements, button elements, text area elements that are used for AngularJS input control as AngularJS input controls. And also the ng-click, these are actually events like ng-click that will use to handle the AngularJS click on button, use dirty and $dirty and $invalid flags to do the validation in seamless way. Then no validate with the form declaration to disable any browser specific validation. Okay, so these are things and events that are used with the forms in AngularJS. So we will see What are events? Okay, AngularJS provides multiple events which can be associated with the HTML controls. So which are they? Like ng click, ng double click. Please note that how these are being used, like ng dash click, ng dash double dash click, ng mouse down, ng mouse up, ng mouse over, ng key down, ng key up, ng key press. So you can see how many validations or how many options are there to use. For example, ng click, that is for simple click or single click. Then ng double click is there. Mouse down, up, over. What things should be done if the mouse is moving up, over, down. That means you can do a coding, or you can use things in form to control all these particular things that are done by user. Like what should be done if the mouse is going up and down, and what should be done if it is being over a text or over particular image. So you can see there are so many options with AngularJS forms. Forms in AngularJS provide data binding and validation of input controls. Okay, so input controls, they actually control that input element. So input elements, select element, button elements, and text area elements. These are input controls that are used by AngularJS forms. Then there are some validated data. They can be used to track error, like $dirty, $invalid, $error. So $dirty states that the value has been changed. $invalid will tell that states that the value entered is invalid. $error will state the exact error. Okay, so we can use any track error, anything from these three to track the error. Okay, so these three things are error related, or we can say for validation purpose. So we'll see how that forms are used in example. Okay, so we have taken the text box example. Here the data binding is used. The ng model directive is used to provide data binding, and AngularJS has some features for binding data of HTML form input to a model object. Okay, I will repeat. The AngularJS has some features for binding data of HTML form input fields to the model object, that is $scope. That means whatever input is written in HTML form or HTML input field, that will be binded to the model part or the $scope part. This feature make it easier to work with the forms. And how is the binding input element is done? That is using the input type text ng model first name. Okay. So here we have simply used that ng model directive. The application does now have a property named first name. Okay, the ng model is given property as first name. The ng model directive binds that input controller to the rest of your application. Okay, so this property is now being binded to whatever application will be written below. Throughout, that will be binded. Okay, so for example, how to use it in form, like we have started the form section. Form, the first name, for the first name we are taking input type equals to text ng model is first name and close that form. H1 you entered first name and close that H1. So here we can see we have calling that first name property in your with your expression. Okay, so this is binded to your rest of application. Then so this was about simple text box. Okay, because here we have given input type text, so this is coding of text box. Now if you want to use it with the checkbox, so how it is being used, we'll see. The checkbox has the value true or false. Apply ng model directive to a checkbox and use its value in your application. So how to use this in application, we'll see. I started the HTML and we have entered the script with the source link. In body section we have used ng app directive. We haven't provided any name here, just kept blank, and we have just started the form. In form there we have provided a statement check to show a header. Its input type is checkbox. ng model is my var and the form is full. Then h1 ng show my variable, that ng show is for displaying that variable from whatever data or whatever property we are going to enter in the double quote. Okay, ng show, here we have we have used my var, so it will show the data that is available in my var. Okay, and my header. Then the paragraph, the headers ng show attribute is set to true when the checkbox is checked. Okay, and what we are doing here, we are actually using a checkbox. Okay, so input type we have given the checkbox and ng model we have defined with my var. Okay, in the form. Then we want to get the correct value. If there is checkbox, that means there are only two values or two possibilities, the true or false. So what the checkbox will do, that we have given into the paragraph statement, like the header ng show attribute is set to true when the checkbox is checked. That means if the checkbox is clicked or checked, then it is taken as true, otherwise false. For example, you have seen after signing up for a new account on any page, there is at last there is one note for terms and conditions, and you have to check that checkbox that I agree with these terms and conditions provided by particular site, right? So if you are not entering that, that means the condition is false, or you are not agree with that terms and conditions. So like way we are using checkbox here for the true and false condition. So it is very simple way. Just after applying it in the real life, or after actually doing coding, it will be an easy part to keep it in mind. Okay, so how it will display as output, like check to show a header. Okay, that we have used here in the form. We have given the statement check to show header, and there we have used input type checkbox and ng model as my var, and it is showing you a checkbox because you have entered the input type as checkbox. Okay, so you can see that the header ng show attribute is set to true when checkbox is checked. Okay, and after checking on the checkbox, you will get my header and again the same statement that header should show attribute is set to true when checkbox is checked. Alright. So after checking, it will show that my variable and just show my var and whatever data it is written here. So you might have got idea after checking. If you want to display particular data after checking only, then you will provide it into this second section with the ng-show method. Okay. So this is all about forms. Okay. So next are includes that we'll see in the next session. For this session, it is enough. We have seen today filters, tables, models, and forms, and that these all are used as tools of AngularJS, and they are used for display related data or information. Okay, so all these things are related with the view part and controller part. Okay. The unit client and server side framework is very important and very interesting as well, because it is giving you the ideas about how actually you are coding or how actually you are dealing with the things that are happening on your web page or with your application. Okay, so we will be continued with this in the next session, and we will see includes, views, scopes, and services in the next video session. Till that, have a revision on the things that we have covered till today, and be safe at your home.